is not going to give 110% to keep their filthy hands off my rock.
It is one of the great traditions in college football. A bus ride, a hill, and a rock. That is Howard's Rock. Clemson coach Frank Howard. They brought it from Death Valley in California, 3,000 miles to Death Valley in South Carolina. And as the Clemson Tigers get ready to roll into a crowd of 80,000, Dabo Swinney and the Tigers are number 8 in the country. What awaits them? Boston College. It is one of the great traditions in college football. This is a program on the rise, sitting atop the ACC, and here they come. Mix in the fact that this is homecoming, and this is some scene here at Death Valley Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. The Tigers have won 3 straight against top 25 opponents. The question in this one, can they take care of business against 1 and 4 Boston College? Hi again, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Keith Jones. Now coming down that hill somewhere was Taj Boyd, the quarterback for Clemson. He probably wasn't running. He might have been floating the way he's been playing.
He can do it through the air. He can do it on the ground. The biggest thing that he can do is run this hurry-up offense. 80 snaps. 80 snaps is the #1 thing Taj Boyd wants to get today.
Other side of the ball, though, will be one of the best defensive players in the country, Luke Kuechly.
Led the nation in tackles last year, did Luke. He's leading them again this year. You can do 2 things, Rich. You can watch the ball. You can watch 40 for Boston College. Either way, they're going to come to the same place.
All right, down there in this sea of orange somewhere is our Jen Hildreth. Jen?
What an atmosphere out here, Rich. But, you know, it was interesting talking to Dabo Swinney yesterday. He said, we've been preparing for this kind of success for a while. He thought he had a good team last year. They just didn't get the results that they wanted. But he said they did learn how to handle adversity. Now, even more important, they need to learn how to handle success. He talked to his team in the locker room just a few moments ago. He said, look, you've got all these people telling you you've arrived. You've got people asking you, you are the hunted now, not the hunter. We are still hunting. We need to stay on the attack. Send a message right now that we are focused and can take care of business.
Well, they get a chance to take care of business against Boston College. Our 4 keys to the game, partner.
Well, for everything that everyone else is doing with the spread and the hurry up, Boston College needs to innovate, and Rich, they need to get back to playing old-fashioned football, smash mouth football. For Clemson, ignore the roar, and I'm not talking about the 80-some thousand here in Memorial Stadium, but ignore what the writers and us broadcasters are saying about them, and as Dabo says, just keep playing football.
Frank Spaziani and the Boston College Eagles have had a slew of injuries this year and some just plain bad luck. Their latest injury to their star running back Montel Harris. So the challenge for Boston College, move the football without Harris. And as we've pointed out, Dabo Swinney in his 3rd full season is riding a nice wave right now. However, and he pointed this out to us yesterday in our meetings, Clemson has a history of coming off big wins with disappointing losses. He has preached to his team, don't let that happen to this group.
Well, they've done it twice already. They've come back after big wins, and that resulted in the 3 consecutive top-rated teams. The only time in ACC history that's been done consecutively. I think the mindset is pretty good, Rich. We'll know early here in this ball game.
Clemson won the toss, deferred, and they will kick it off. Chandler Cananzaro will tee it up, and deep. Spiffy Evans and Taj Kimball.
Keep your eye on Kimball. He may be the fastest Boston College Eagle.
Kimball wearing number 20. There's a look at Cananzaro. Clemson coming off a win on the road at Virginia Tech. Boston College, a close loss last week to Wake Forest. It's a short kick, and it's taken at the 25-yard line and returned out to the 33. And that's where Boston College will put it in play. Andre Lawrence With the return, there's a look at Chase Reddick, the sophomore, and keep a lot of pressure on him today, especially since he can't turn around and hand it to Montel Harris.
That running game, as you all will know, takes the pressure off of the quarterback. The inability to run puts it squarely back on Reddick's shoulders. It'll be interesting as game develops to see how he handles it.
Boston College, their own 34, and we're underway. Reddick will hand it off to Rolandon Finch. Finch is out to the 36-yard line, and Finch certainly is trying to fill some big shoes. You look at the Toyota offense. This is an offensive line that has given up 11 sacks. They need better play from their senior Mark Spinney up front. In the skill spots, no Montel Harris, and it's Finch, the sophomore out of New Albany, Indiana, that gets the start at tailback.
Finch technically the third-team tailback. Andre Williams, who is dressed and is here, we're told, has a foot problem, and as a result, Finch getting the start.
Yeah, both Williams and Harris nicked up last week. The officials have called the timeout. The chain over on the Boston College sideline has an issue.
The line to gain equipment is broken. We'll have to have a backup set, so we have an official's timeout.
Maybe the chain gang ran down the hill.
Well, they say, you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Brad Allen, the referee here, an ACC crew. And so all the hype, all the entry, and the first down chain breaks. And so Chase Reddick and Boston College will sort it out. We'll take a timeout. We're just underway and scoreless. All right, thank you, Andre. Scoreless here. Not only are the Boston College Eagles without Montel Harris, but remember a couple of weeks ago, Kevin Rogers, their offensive coordinator, had to take a leave of absence. That's Dave Brock, who was an offensive coordinator at Kansas State. He's calling plays. He told us the biggest key, stay ahead of down and distance. On a draw, it's Finch across the 40. And so far, down and distance, pretty good for Boston College. They're faced with 3rd down and 2. Clemson's defense was outstanding last week at Virginia Tech. Andre Branch had 4 sacks last week. Linebackers, Jonathan Willard, a very quiet leader, the 3rd leading tackler. And in the backfield, Jonathan Meeks, the junior safety, will come up and hit you hard. Our Toyota lineups. As Boston College now on a 3rd down and 2.
BC 37% on conversions so far in the season.
Finch short of the first down. Out to the 43. He needed to get to the 44. And so stay ahead of down and distance. Not enough distance on the first 3 plays.
Well, nothing fancy. Isolation play, a little crease right there, but it closes quickly. And BC 3 and out on their first possession.
So the Clemson defense holds. Brian Quigley on to punt it. DeAndre Hopkins is deep for Clemson. One of the things Clemson has not had this year is a big return, either as a punt return or a kickoff return. Quigley's kick is a high wobbler. It's a fair catch, called for and made right at the 20-yard line. So now Clemson will get the football. Offensively, not a great week last week, but remember, it was in Blacksburg. It was cold and it was wet. Taj Boyd, we talked about, their sophomore quarterback. The Toyota lineups up front. Dalton Freeman is a freshman center in the middle. In the skill spots, keep your eyes on number 2, Sammy Watkins, 31 catches, 6 touchdowns. He's already set a Clemson freshman record for touchdown catches. And on 1st and 10, Boyd's in the shotgun. And he'll hand it off to Ellington. He's hammered at the 18-yard line. If there's one thing Boston College is known for, it's a hard-nosed defense. Our Toyota line up front, Max Holloway, comes from a long line of great players. His dad in the NFL, his brother in the NFL. Kevin Pierre-Louis, very good linebacker as well. And Jim Noel on the corner has one of 5 interceptions for BC. Boyd to the air, over the middle.
in and out of the hands of Sammy Watkins. And it's 3rd down and 11 now for Clemson. Boyd's season so far has been spectacular.
61% completion. Look at that TD to interception ratio. Doesn't get better than that. And he's contributed quite a bit on the ground, though when you take away the sacks, the numbers don't say it, but you always have to keep your eye on him.
3rd down 11. Boyd, lots of time. And a man, it's caught at the 43-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins, the sophomore.
Hopkins, the 2nd leading receiver on this Clemson team, inside and then back outside. And a perfectly thrown ball by Boyd. 1st down Clemson.
25 yards on the pickup. Ellington shoots through. Cross midfield. Gain of 7 to the Boston College 48.
And you see the burst that Ellington has. He's going to be coming right at you. He goes that way and then back the other. And before you can blink the eye, he's at the 2nd level. 2nd and short.
Ellington in the backfield with Boyd. Boston College showing blitz. Here they come. Time for Boyd. Throw over the middle. Caught there. Jaron Brown. Down to the 18.
Big target is Brown at 6'2", 12 catches through the first ball game. He's going to start right there, work outside and then back inside, and great grab by the 6'2" junior out of South Carolina.
Flag down. Boyd is rolling, throws back. Allen, 10, 5. And to the 3. Now the flag sits back at the 17-yard line. Dwayne Allen, the terrific tight end, the junior out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Since they didn't stop the play, you would expect it to be offsides.
Outside. Defense, number 56. Penalty decline. 1st down.
A little deception that time by Clemson. Not necessarily a trick play. But watch the linemen right here. They don't move. And then upon a call, they all get out in front and form the wall.
Ellington behind Boyd. And it's Ellington. Man, as he stood up and planted. Gain of maybe 1. Kevin Pierre-Louis, the sophomore linebacker, a guy that gets overlooked because of all the accolades and all the tackles that Luke Kuechly gets. And he made the stop. Our CPI red zone, Clemson 10th in the ACC. Now Ellington splits to the left and comes in motion. Boyd stands tall, open, caught, Brown, touchdown.
Coming from the right-hand side of your screen, gets right behind Kuechly, does Brown. That's his 2nd touchdown reception on the year. Makes it look awful easy, Rich.
Brown from Boyd. Boyd has thrown 15 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. That 3rd down and 11, an enormous pickup, because after that, Clemson rolls and goes 80 yards for the score. ACC College Football Saturday, brought to you by Coors Light, by Wendy's, and by Toyota. You can't have homecoming without some floats. The fraternities and sororities on campus, also a tradition for the past 18 years. They've helped build a Habitat for Humanity house. Taj Kimball at his 15. Kimball gets a block and some room, and Kimball is across the 40 out to the 44-yard line. And let's see if Boston College can regroup. They were 3 and out on their first possession. Their defense gave up a big pass on 3rd down and 11, and they're in a 7-0 hole right now.
And there's a nice little lane.
Boston College, very simple in their first 3 plays. It was straight ahead with Rolandon Finch, the sophomore running back. Chase Reddick did not put it up. They were turned away on 3rd down and 2. And it's Finch again, and he's got nowhere to go. And you get a sense that for Boston College to move the football, Keith, they're going to have to be a little more creative than this.
Well, you know they've got to run the clock and decrease or reduce the number of possessions that Clemson has. You normally do that on the ground, but so far 4 running plays have netted about 7 or 8 yards. And that will not win a ball game for you. I don't care where you are.
Second down, 11. Redding in the shotgun. Lots of time, and he guns it and threw it too hard. Bobby Swigert, the intended receiver. And the sophomore Chase Redding, a little too much on that one, and now it's third down and 11.
Redding completing about 52% of his passes. You'd like to see that number up around 60 or 65. And when you don't complete passes, you end up in situations like this, third and 11.
Dave Brock told us the biggest challenge for Redding is stay poised and stay composed amidst this wild scene here at Clemson. Taj Kimball in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Redding steps up, unloads, and throws it away.
I don't know if Redding expected Swigert to cut that route out a little sooner or if he just missed him. But again, a second consecutive 3 and out by BC.
And that's no way to manage down and distance. That's no way to manage the clock. And Boston College will have to give it right back to a red-hot Clemson offense. Quigley. Another fair catch at the 15-yard line. Hopkins on a 41-yard punt. And so right back out come the Clemson Tigers.
28th punt, by the way, by Quigley. And the 17th fair catch.
Now, homecoming at Clemson is always a special time, although last year, not so much. Number 16, Miami, came in here and beat the Tigers 30-21. Boyd on 1st and 10. He'll keep it to the 23-yard line.
Same play they ran on their first play of their last possession. This time Boyd keeps it and heads up the middle.
First tackle for Luke Kuechly. It's a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Little pitch to Ellington, and he's outside, and he's got the first down. Out to the 36-yard line. And Clemson is moving. Sean Silva made the stop. Remember, in this defense, Bill McGovern, the defensive coordinator, he's got 2 freshman safeties starting this ball game.
And the safeties in run support are most important.
Spencer Rossitano and Sean Silva are the freshmen getting the starts. And that was Silva on the stop on this 1st and 10. Boyd swings it out to the right side. Humphreys with the catch out to the 41-yard line.
Now here's what Clemson did last time out. They threw the ball down the field vertically. A little deception, if you will, with the screen to the tight end, and then a bullet for the touchdown.
Second down and 5, Clemson, their own 42.
Ball
on the floor, but it's picked up by DJ Howard. And Howard, in his first snap of the ball game, the freshman out of Lincoln, Alabama. Steele DeVito, the sophomore, there to make the stop for Boston College.
9th time Clemson has put the ball on the ground. They've lost 3 of them. That will derail you, no question.
Keep in mind that Taj Boyd has 28 completions on 3rd down this year. That is tops in the nation, including one big one on their first scoring drive. And he's got another one. Dwayne Allen, one of the best tight ends in the country, makes the catch right at midfield.
Allen had 4 receptions in Blasburg last week, 75 yards and a touchdown. And as important as that catch is, what a great route. Knew exactly where he needed to get for the first down. Boyd delivers the ball. 1st and 10.
scrambled snap. Ellington through the middle. When you go through the middle, you got to get through Dominic Appiah, Dylan Quinn, and then Luke Kuechly. And that's not always easy going through the middle against Boston College.
Keep your eye right here, because he's always going to be around the football. Fights off a block, gets in on the tackle. #1 in the country last year, as we mentioned, and leading the country this year in stops defensively.
27 yards already for Ellington. A 3 tight end look.
Pass,
pitch.
pass.
Gonna throw it. Ellington puts it up, and he got too much air under it. He was looking for Brandon Ford, the junior tight end.
Well, it didn't fool anybody. It didn't fool me up here. Of course, I've got the advantage of looking down from the 50-yard line, but there were 4 Eagles chasing in pursuit.
Boston College, speaking of 4 Eagles, just brought 4 new defensive linemen into the game. This is the 8th play of the drive. On 3rd down and 7, ball just inside BC territory. Boyd, swing pass, Ellington the catch to the 41. He is shy of the first down by a yard. Kuechly yet again with the stop. 80,000 here, and Clemson wanted to go for it.
I don't think Coach Sweeney will even hesitate.
Football sits at the 41. Got to get to the 40. DJ Howard behind Chad Deal in the backfield. And it's Howard who's got a big gap. Busts it outside. Still on his feet. Inside the 30 to the 27. Steele DeVito made the stop.
Now, when they go to look at this in the field room, they're going to talk to Howard about no down and distance. He needs to go back this way and just get the first down. Almost tripped up right there. Very short or right at the first down marker. 3rd down, get upfield.
At the BC 27, Boyd to throw. Wide open, caught there, Peak. Incomplete, he couldn't hold it. Wow. Sharon Peak was wide open. Taj Boyd put it right on the numbers.
Well, you catch it right there in your living room. Peak with only 2 receptions on the year. He is a freshman out of Moore, South Carolina. And
wow.
Wow.
You couldn't throw it any better. 2nd down and 10. Boyd with time. Good play. Closing was Donnie Fletcher, and he broke up the pass intended for Sammy Watkins.
This is 23rd start for Fletcher. He's a senior out of Cleveland, Ohio, and they're trying to get the ball to their playmaker, Sammy Watkins, the unbelievable freshman out of Fort Myers down in Southwest Florida.
Boston College desperately needs a few more plays like that just to swing the momentum. Boyd on 3rd and 10. Eagles show blitz, and here they come. Boyd flushed and free, but shy of the first down. He ends up at the 21-yard line. Had to get to the 17, and it looks like Clemson's going to settle for a field goal attempt.
Good initial protection. Boyd moves a little bit to his right and then tucks it up the middle. There's Kuechly and company to bring him down, and appropriately, Coach Sweeney's going to go for the 3 this time on 4th and about 4.5.
Chandler Cannizzaro, 5 of 7, his longest this year, 46 yards. This one up and good. So Clemson has scored on both drives and has an early 10-0 lead over Boston College. A great entrance and a great start for number 8 Clemson. Taj Kimball from his 5. It's a wave of orange and ends up at the 23-yard line. Let's check in down below with Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Rich wanted to just give you guys an update. This was the problem with the chains earlier. It's supposed to be connected down here. It broke off. I talked to the chain gang here on the sideline. They said they're using the spare. They don't have another backup, so something to just, keep in mind as the game goes on. Hopefully that one will hold up all right. It does have some tape on it, though. It looked a little sketchy.
Well, Boston College, Jen, would like to move the chains a little.
Without question.
Look at that. 8 yards, 143 yards for Clemson. It's been 3 and out and 3 and out on both possessions for the Eagles. Chase Reddick, the sophomore quarterback. Hit and smothered. Ball. Clemson's got it. Tyler Shatley recovered it.
It's going to come from the right side. And that's big Malachi Goodman. Goes right around Emmett Clary. Ball comes loose. Tiger football.
Wow. Clemson, 1st and 10 at the Boston College 16.
Now, they did settle for a field goal last time, Rich, but bear in mind, Dabo Swinney told us yesterday they want to score touchdowns in the red zone.
Ellington straight ahead. That's been the toughest part of the Boston College defense for Clemson to crack, is that middle.
It's also a BC defense that only gives up a touchdown to the opponent 50% of the time that they get into the red zone.
Of course, longtime defensive coordinator was Frank Spaziani at Boston College. Boyd all alone now on 2nd down and 8. Quarterback draw to the 10. Boyd bounces. He is in. Touchdown.
Great block downfield.
15 yards. Taj Boyd.
We told you in the open that Boyd could hurt you with his arm. He can also hurt you with his feet. Watch number 55 as he leaves there and then gets downfield. That's the center, Dalton Freeman. Boyd with his 3rd rushing touchdown.
Well, Boston College has gone 3 and out, and a fumble. As a result, number 8, Clemson, is off to a 17-0 start here at Death Valley. Now, Death Valley isn't such a bad place for Boston College. Their first road trip in the ACC, Matt Ryan got hit early, but got back up and drove for the game-winning touchdown. In overtime, Tom O'Brien's BC Eagles won at 16-13, and that is the Buick Video Vault. And the series has been very close.
9-2 as you see, excuse me, Rich. 5 of the 6 last games have been decided by a touchdown or less. It all began the year before I was born, 1940. No, I'm teasing.
See, I wasn't going to add that, but it was the Cotton Bowl back in 1940. Dawson Zimmerman to kick it off. Boston College's most productive play in this ball game has been a Taj Kimball kick return. This is Spiffy Evans. Evans out to the 24, and that's as far as he gets. Dabo Swinney telling his ball club they cannot afford to let down, coming off the 3 wins against top 25 teams.
They've already beaten these guys and these guys.
And
I mean, just for good measure, Auburn too.
There you go. The Auburn Tigers, of course, came in here. They snapped Auburn's long win streak. That was the first of the 3 wins in a row. Then Florida State was number 11 when they beat them. Virginia Tech last week was number 10 when they beat them. Redding on play action. Overthrows, and he has not thrown the ball well at all today.
Well, he saw big number 97 Goodman coming after him again, and the eyes got real wide, and so did the throw. Malakaya goes 6'4", 280. That is huge for a defensive end, as agile and speedy as he is.
Redding now 0 of 3, and he's overthrown all 3 of his throws.
Remind you, Clemson wants to run 80 or more offensive plays a ball game. They're right on track.
Redding on a draw. Finch to the 26-yard line. And this Clemson defense, which I think is overlooked because of all the gaudy numbers that Taj Boyd, Sammy Watkins, Dwayne Allen have rolled up. This Clemson defense was the difference maker last week at Virginia Tech, and they're playing very well here today.
Held Tech without a touchdown in Blacksburg. I think it's 100+ games since that had been done. Just 3 points for the Hokies.
Had 4 sacks, forced 2 turnovers. They already have a sack and a turnover, and they show blitz. 4 men coming. Redding to the sideline. It's caught there. Swigert, and he dances out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And Boston College has its first down of the afternoon.
Swigert, just like Reddick, a sophomore, an out route, a nice delivery this time by Reddick, enough to move the chains. I believe that's BC's first down.
It is.
They get out of the proverbial shadow of their own goalpost. 1st and 10 at the 40.
So Reddick now 1 of 4. Frank Spaziani and the Eagles trying to get back up on their feet. Finch in the backfield, left side, cuts it in, and he's close to midfield, close to a first down, a 9-yard pickup. Jonathan Meeks of Clemson made the stop.
And that's what you're used to seeing from this Boston College offense. They brought a guard around. They bring a guard around, and then Finch gets right in behind him, and before you know it, much like Ellington on the first drive, Finch is at the second level very quickly, second and real short.
Montel Harris did not dress for this game. We haven't seen Andre Williams yet. It's been Rolandon Finch so far. 5th play of the drive, and this the longest drive for Boston College. Finch again, stuck right at the 49. Spencer Shuey made the stop, and he's short of the first down. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 1. Andre Branch, our peak antifreeze, peak performance last week. 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss.
12 total stops for Branch.
So on 3rd down and short. Finch behind Redding. And Finch is close. He's right in midfield, and so is the stick. The backup stick, I might add. If you've just joined us after the game's first play, the chains broke.
And this is a first down that's created by this big offensive line, because there is no crease, there's no hole. Rennie Moore there, number 94, is tackling from behind, and the whole pile moves just enough. First down, Boston College.
Well, this certainly has given Boston College's defense a little bit of a rest, and it's got to give some confidence to a very young offense, a very young and banged up offense. Redding, Swigert looking to throw, flag goes down, Swigert keeps it, and he's out of bounds.
We got a helmet down, we got a flag down.
And since it's a Clemson helmet, you suspect it'll be a holding against Boston College.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Those things usually don't come off by themselves.
And hopefully it comes off without something in it. Vidaro, the redshirt freshman, guilty of the infraction. Keep your eye on number 76 right there. I got it a little bit late, but he's on Brandon Thompson, and he loses his hat, does Thompson.
We talked about Boston College needing to get a little creative. It looked like they were on that play. Schweiger was looking to throw. Taj Kimball in the backfield now. Reddick, here comes a blitz. Screen is set up, and Kimball is smothered by Goodman.
What a play by Goodman. He actually got out in front of the offensive linemen that were trying to set the screen.
Great read. And another big play by this Clemson defense. Final seconds evaporate from a first quarter that has been very impressive. The number 8 team in the country looks like it. Clemson all over Boston College, 17-0. Delta Faucet's first quarter stats. It's pretty simple, Keith Jones, when you look at the numbers.
Well, obviously Clemson has outgained BC sixfold, but look at the starting field position. They've played this entire half, if you will, quarter rather, on BC's side of the 50.
Second quarter now, number 8, Clemson, a 17-0 lead. Boston College faced with second down and 21. Chase Reddick, a crossing route, hits Colin Larmon, and he's into Clemson territory. Larman down to the 42-yard line. Jonathan Willard made the stop.
And a nice check down. The route's going to come this way, looks one way, and then comes back to it. Larmon with his 20th catch on the year. And a nice pickup on second and forever.
17-yard gain. Third down 3. Reddick over the middle, open, there is Schweigert. He's off to the races. He's 10. He's touchdown Boston College. Flag down at midfield.
Then they're bringing it back.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness by hand to the face. Number 62, offense. 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Wow.
You just don't see that very, very often. That's Ian White, the sophomore right guard. And Coach Spaz can't believe it. It's going to be right to the left of your screen. I don't think we caught it. But that negates a huge, huge play for BC. Keep your eye right there. There's the hand right there.
Yeah, he's locked up on the face mask.
That's pretty clear from that angle, and that's very, very close to the angle that the referee has. And Coach Spaziani can't believe it, but if he were looking what we were looking at, he wouldn't complain so much.
Ian White, the sophomore, that's 2 big penalties on this drive for Boston College.
And BC will have to take a timeout.
Timeout. Boston College. Their first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
17-0. Clemson on top. Andre, thanks. 17-0. Clemson on top. Boston College just had a touchdown called back. It would have been a 43-yard touchdown. And on third down and forever, they're well short of the first down. Here's a look at the penalty. Ian White, the right guard, number 62.
And let me show you something right here. He can keep his hands in the torso of the player, but once he gets above there or gets outside of the box, they're going to throw that flag. He doesn't grasp it. He doesn't hold it. He can't even put his hand on it.
Line drive kick. Hopkins gets away from it, and Boston College does a nice job to let it roll all the way down inside the 1. That's a 48-yard punt by Ryan Quigley, the Boston College punter. Next week, we're at Duke. How about the Blue Devils, who have won 3 in a row? And number 22, Florida State, will be in town. 3 o'clock kick in Durham. Florida State and Duke. And of course, Florida State in the fourth quarter right now on the road, down 35-24. That means Florida State has to go back to the state of North Carolina 2 weeks in a row. And Wake Forest, if they can hang on to that, inside screen, bouncing outside is Sammy Watkins.
What a dangerous, dangerous pass. Number one, Rich, given position on the field, and number two, you're doing it with a freshman. This ball is thrown nearly in the end zone. In fact, left foot goes into the end zone, and then Watkins plants and takes it up the right side.
Watkins out to the 19. If Wake Forest holds on, they'll run their record in the ACC to 3-0. Other scores around the ACC, a lot of early games today. North Carolina beat Louisville. Georgia Tech hung on late. They got a big lead early, and Maryland came back, but Georgia Tech stays undefeated. Virginia Tech and Miami are just underway. North Carolina State's got Central Michigan today. Taj Boyd, 8 of 11. Oh, what a catch. Dwayne Allen. That's why pro scouts are flocking to Clemson, South Carolina to sit in the NFL scout room in the Clemson football offices and watch tape of this guy.
That's a tight end that's in the slot position. He's 6'4", 255 pounds is Dwayne Allen. And he's a redshirt junior. And if you're a Clemson fan, for some reason you didn't make it to Memorial Stadium, you better watch, because this might be the last year you see Big 83. He's that good.
From the 44. Quick handoff. It's Humphreys around the right side, and he's caught and spilled. Jim Noel along with Kevin Pierre-Louis on the stop for Boston College. And there's a player down, as if Boston College can afford to lose another, and that is Jim Noel. They lost C.J. Jones to a knee injury out of that backfield. Of course, they're playing in this ball game without Montel Harris, their starting running back. Ifeanyi Moma had a season-ending knee injury in the first game of the season. Here's a look at it.
Gets rolled around and then rolled over and then falls.
Kuechly was in there.
It's a BC defense too, Rich, that's playing without Albright, Scaff, and Newman, who were starters in that interior defensive line, whose eligibility is gone. They have graduated. So as we've talked about, this is a very young overall Boston College team, but particularly so on offense, or defense.
Let's check in down below with Jen Hilder. Jen?
Rich, you guys have been talking about Dwayne Allen for Clemson, and this is a guy who said he's really worked on taking care of his body. Coming into this his junior season, he felt he wore down a lot last season, and I love what he told us. That he worked on what he eats. He's getting more massage, stretching, things like that. And you know what? This guy, not afraid to tell me he gets pedicures, and he says they actually help.
Hold on a minute. Boyd inside the 45, down to the 43. I can't let you go at that, Jen. Elaborate, please.
Yeah, not only does he get pedicures, right? But he told us the first time he did it, Keith, you asked about that. He said, yeah, and I got clear polish on there, too, because I wanted to show it off.
Yeah, he said he walked out of the shower and it was noticed, so to speak.
A guy his size can get away with that. I don't know who's going to argue with him or make too much fun of him.
You noticed I didn't speak up yesterday.
I did.
He was an impressive guy yesterday when he walked into the coach's room.
Timeout. Clemson. Their first charge timeout and a half.
11:24 left in this first half. It has been all Clemson, 17-0. It's Football Saturday, brought to you by AT&T, by Haviland, and by Geico. Thomas Green Clemson, founder of Clemson University. One of the statues you'll find here on Clemson. And in about 40 years, maybe a statue of that young man.
Do they have enough bronze?
On 1st and 10. Boyd, and on a reverse, Watkins is swallowed up back at the 43-yard line. Max Holloway, the junior.
Great read and patience by Holloway. The rule, Rich, is when the ball goes away from you, you want to be as deep as your deepest threat that can come back your side. And that was played precisely that way by Max Holloway.
Look at all the targets and all the receivers that Boyd has hit. Lots of time. Going deep, too deep for everybody. Watkins was the intended receiver, but Boston College had good coverage. Al Lewis-Jean was there. Max Holloway made that play in the backfield, and Holloway, his dad Brian, 3 Pro Bowls, his brother David, a linebacker at Maryland, also in the NFL. So it's a great football family.
Just 2 defensive linemen in for BC.
Boyd, center screen, and Ellington dropped it on 3rd down and long. Andre Ellington, the junior, couldn't hold it, and so Boston College holds, and they'll get the football back.
And Dawson Zimmerman, the punter for Clemson, is probably the one that's most disappointed in how well the offense has gone, because he averages about 43 yards a kick. But it's unlikely that he'll qualify for any statistics because he doesn't punt enough. This will just be his 23rd punt on the year.
Bobby Swigert inside the 10. Swigert to the 16-yard line. 46 yards on the kick. You can enter now for a chance to win the Dave's Hot and Juicy Cheeseburgers Ultimate College Weekend for Wendy's. Text Wendy's to South. That's Wendy's to 76884 for a chance to win 4 tickets to a college football championship game in Atlanta or Charlotte, 2 nights hotel stay, and a $500 gift card.
I know I'm not eligible to win the grand prize, but can I win some cheeseburgers?
I'll treat after the game. Amadon in motion, and Finch over the left side out to the 23-yard line. Clemson's defense has been very good so far.
Well, they've gotten pressure on Reddick. They've sacked him and caused a fumble. They've been relentless in their pursuit. And even if they're not laying hands on him all the time, number 11 knows they're very, very close.
Boston College had just 58 yards of total offense right now. That was a 7-yard pickup, though, by Finch. Finch this time. Perico Hawkins and Jonathan Willard, a pair of linebackers. And it's going to be a loss of 2.
Whatever their run read was, they read it. Both of them had moved up to the line of scrimmage. They were in a run blitz situation, and they executed it to perfection.
Number 8, Clemson, scored quickly in the first quarter. Boston College has moved the football, had a 43-yard touchdown called back. But on a 3rd and 5, deep in their own territory. Reddick steps up, scrambling, back to the line of scrimmage, Rennie Moore. That is a coverage sack.
There was simply no one open downfield. They went to the bunch formation to the offense's right, and nobody got open. You've got to get that ball out of there much sooner than that. And if there's nowhere to go with it, the boys up front get credit. The guys in the back can just smile.
Sammy Watkins is deep. Ryan Quigley to punt it away for Boston College. It's a high kick. Watkins in the middle of about 5 Boston College Eagles makes a fair catch. Just 31 yards on the punt. Number 8 Clemson gets the football when we get back. ACC college football Saturday. Death Valley. Number 8 Clemson, a 17-0 lead over Boston College. And Andre Branch, the bandit, kind of a hybrid end linebacker. has a banged up finger. It has been taped up. He is expected to return. Ellington, as in Andre Ellington, out to the 47-yard line. Andre Aldridge will be by with our halftime show coming up at the half. A busy day in the ACC.
Ellington averaging 18 and almost 19 carries a ball game and 82 yards a contest.
On the move, Watkins a catch at the 28-yard line.
I asked yesterday about Watkins specifically, how did he do in spring ball? And I got this look from Chad Morris and said he wasn't here in the spring. He is a true freshman, Rich, that came in for fall camp. He did come in for some summer workouts, but in terms of on the playing field, he is as green gets.
Taj Boyd pumping, throwing, and it's broken up, incomplete. He was looking for Brandon Ford. Steele DeVito in on the coverage.
They faked the little bubble screen and then went downfield, and an awful lot of white jerseys around the pumpkin.
But 2nd and 10. Ellington stumbles, and he gets to the 25-yard line. Of course, Luke Kuechly being at your heels may force you to stumble once in a while. 3rd down and 7.
Came on the scene, if you will, as a freshman 2 years ago. Finished 2nd in the country in tackles. Everybody's going, man, it's a fluke. And all Kuechly did was lead the country in tackles last year.
And he's leading the country in tackles again this year. Over 90 now. Blitz, Boyd, quick throw, and a great close by Kevin Pierre-Louis. The sophomore out of Norwalk, Pennsylvania, got his left hand out. He is a terrific player who gets overlooked because of Luke Kuechly.
Well, coach, put me in. I can play corner. 6'1", 212 yards, and as you called, a great break on the ball. Got his hand on it, knocks it down, forces Clemson for the field goal attempt.
This is a 42-yarder. Chandler Cannizzaro has already hit one from 38. This one is right down the middle. And Clemson pays it off with 3 more points and stretches their lead to 20-0. $20-0 here. Number 8 Clemson on top. A great start, trying to go 6-0. Of course, the national championship year. Danny Ford, the head coach, back in 1981. And the Tigers are looking like the number 8 team in the country. Next week, they're on the road at Maryland. October 29th is one of their big days. They're at Georgia Tech. And, of course, they finish the season at South Carolina. If you're just joining us, the Hardee's Chicken Tender Box game summary. Look at the total yardage. Clemson has dominated both offensively and defensively. Taj Boyd has been effective, 10 of 17.
Clemson nearly doubling up on the number of offensive snaps. That's a recipe for victory. Recipe for good biscuits there, too.
On 1st and 10, Boston College now trying to figure out how to move the football. Kimball out to the 25. They'll mark it at the 26. Cody Sensabaugh made the stop for Clemson. It's a 6-yard gain. Remember, the Eagles had a 43-yard throw from Chase Reddick to Bobby Swigert that looked like a touchdown, and it was called back. Ian White, the sophomore right guard, had his hands to the face mask of Tyler Shatley of Clemson. That would have made it a 17-7 game. As it is now, it's 20-0. Reddick rolling, throws it behind his intended receiver, Mike Naples. Well, remember, Dave Brock told us they had to stay ahead of down and distance, and that has not happened.
3 of the 5 were 3 and outs.
2 of 6 on 3rd down is Boston College. This would be 3rd down and 3. Shotgun for Redding. Swigert with a catch. Boy, and he paid the price at the 36-yard line. Took a big hit. Swigert is the count-on guy for Boston College. Let's go down below to Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Rich, Andre Branch just now coming onto the field for the Clemson defense. You mentioned that left hand. You can see he's got his left thumb wrapped up. Has had that throughout this game, but I noticed he's been bothered by it. Came off the field last time really shaking it. We'll see if it bothers him much, but he certainly is back out there for the Tigers now.
1st and 10 for Boston College. Thank you, Jen. Swigert in motion. And Redding out to the 41. Taj Kimball. Deshaun Williams made the stop.
Great block on the outside by number 76, Vidaro. He's going to pull around and cut the end. That allows the ball carrier to go back inside Taj Kimball. And a pretty good pickup on 1st down.
BC just trying to get something going offensively as they approach midfield. Their own 42. And flags down.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You know what they say, once you brag on them.
as well as the penalty that negated a 43-yard touchdown, which sent Frank Spaziani into rage on the sideline. There have been a couple other big penalties for Boston College. Swigert in motion. 2nd and 10. It's Swigert out of the backfield. He's right at midfield, has the 1st down. Xavier Brewer made the stop.
Great adjustment and read by Reddick that time. Clemson moving prior to the snap. Went from 3rds to 2 deep, which left the outside open given the corner was inside. And a nice throw and catch for BC and a 1st down right at midfield.
What did Dave Brock call Swigert? The count-on guy. That's our count-on receiver. He's got 3 catches for 36 yards and, of course, had the 43-yarder wiped out. Kimball inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 6.
Kimball, a redshirt freshman out of Fernandina Beach down in Florida. 5'11", 210. He's the number 4 tailback. Remind you, Montel Harris not dressed. Andre Williams with a sore foot. We've seen a lot of Rolandon Finch, but now the redshirt freshman Kimball getting some playing time.
Under 4 minutes left, 1st half. A half dominated by Clemson. BC on the move. Blitz is coming. Redding steps up and delivers at the 33-yard line. Swigert again. And the count-on guy has been the favorite target for Chase Redding this afternoon.
Good protection this time by the BC offensive line. Gives Redding time for that play to develop. Jonathan Meeks comes up and makes the tackle, but not before Swigert has enough for a 1st down.
Swigert has 4 catches. 4 of the 6 completions that Redding has have been to Swigert. Kimball in the backfield. Pressure from the 33. It's Kimball who slips the pressure and then gets caught from behind. You can see how frustrated he is. He had a lot of green had he been able to get through, and had Jonathan Willard not caught him from behind.
Coming into the ball game, Kimball with just 14 touches on the ground. He did have 3 receptions. This one's going to look right to your left. There's the cut. Clemson was coming with pressure, and Kimball finds the seam, but not just not enough to get all the way through it.
Second down 5. Ready, cut there, and it's Swigert again. It has been the Bobby Swigert show on this drive as he's out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. Boston College stops the clock, moves the sticks, and this got to make Frank Spaziani happy to see his team finally moving the football.
Well, the first time all afternoon we've seen some consistency out of the offense. 2:15 on the clock, rolling. Remember, BC has 2 timeouts remaining.
10th play of the drive. 1st and 10 at the 20. Kimball slips through to the 10. He is in. Touchdown. It's Rolandon Finch.
They've been alternating most of the game. Kimball and Finch. That time number 28, number 20 instead of number 20 gets the call. Clemson again in a blitz. This time BC splits it. 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, 3 missed tackles, and Deuce is in for 6.
Nate Freeze the extra point, and it's 20-7. So Finch with a touchdown. We saw Kimball on the drive as well, and here's another look.
And again, look at the missed tackles. We'll credit Finch for determination, but he goes straight up the gut against his Clemson defense, and that'll make Coach Spaz a little happier. I'm not sure he'll smile at all. This is the injury that occurred to Montel Harris that's forced him out of the ball game. He's not even dressed. Remember, that left knee is one he had arthroscopic surgery on late in the summer, early August, in fact. He had missed 2 or 3 ball games. He'd come back for a couple, and it was just swelling and irritation. And with a bye week next week for Boston College, Coach Spaziani chose to sit him for this contest.
Well, you think about that 43-yard touchdown pass that was called back. This would be a 20-14 game. Instead, it's 20-7. Ryan Quigley getting set to kick off for Boston College.
But with 1:55 on the clock, and given what we've seen Clemson do, don't go to the fridge just yet.
Boot kick. Freeze pops it up. It's going to land untouched, and it's scooped up at the 30-yard line by Jerron Brown. Clemson's been impressive offensively. A couple of touchdowns and a couple of field goals.
They've done it through the air, really through the air with those field goals. They've done it with defense, converting a turnover, and on the ground. Boyd taking off this time on the quarterback draw.
Taj Boyd is 10 of 17, 149 yards with a touchdown. Clemson keeps it straight ahead. Now to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 1. Andre Ellington. Let's see if Boston College stops the clock here. Right. Clemson going to hurry up. No need to stop the clock. Boyd with some pressure on him. He fires it out. Brandon Ford right at the sticks. Has the first down.
Ford with just his 2nd reception on the year. Of course, you're playing behind Dwayne Branch. You may not get that many touches.
That's the 7th different receiver that Boyd has found.
That's a strong throw into the short side because Boyd didn't even take a step. He threw that one flat-footed.
Dabo Swinney trying to get some points before the half is up. Boyd pumping, throwing, coming back to get it is Watkins at the 40 of Boston College.
Signals going in real early to Boyd.
Ellington on a draw, and now Clemson's probably going to stop the clock with a minute left.
How about around the back, from behind the back, handoff?
Now they won't stop it. They try to get the play in quickly. Second and 9. Boyd standing up, now scrambling to the 35-30. Caught from behind. Kuechly got him. Clock will stop as they move the chains.
Notice the speed of Luke Kuechly. He's running down Boyd. He's got an angle, but Luke's showing some great motor to catch Taj from behind.
14 yards on the pickup. Boyd to the corner. Incomplete and broken up. Nice play by Sean Sylvia. Over the top, got a hand on it and broke it up.
Watch Watkins go up. Sylvia knocks it right out of his hands. Nice job by the redshirt freshman going up against the true freshman. Sylvia against Watkins.
Second down and 10. Final moments, first half. Taj Boyd. That one's caught. It's Watkins in traffic. There was contact, and he had to reach back.
You see Luke Kuechly right there just throwing his hands to his side in desperation. Kuechly actually either held or interfered with Watkins, though there was no flag, and he still caught it.
Now Clemson calls a timeout.
He'll be over here on this side. Watch Kuechly right there, number 40. Grabs him right there, gets in his way, and then the ball back over the shoulder. And a great grab by Watkins. Kuechly going, what do I got to do?
Taj Boyd, the sophomore out of Hampton, Virginia, has been pretty impressive. That's the touchdown run. He's picked up a lot of third downs. Hampton, Virginia has produced some great quarterbacks. E.J. Manuel, Ronald Curry, Tyrod Taylor, Michael Vick, Marcus Haggins.
Wow.
It's quite a lineage. There's Clemson, their possessions on the day.
Just one time Clemson's left without points.
Boyd on the handoff. And to the 23-yard line, Roderick McDowell. Down to the 3-yard line, Roderick McDowell.
I believe that was a direct snap, wasn't it?
Clemson going to have to take their last timeout.
Certainly an unusual play. Let's look. Nope. He's right in there tight.
It was a handoff.
Boyd takes the ball and just shifts it into the hands of the running back.
But this is a real delicate spot here because it's second down and goal from the 3. There's 11 seconds left. If Clemson runs a play and it's not an incompletion, they don't have time to get the field goal unit on.
Well, what they have to do is throw the ball into the end zone and run it quick. You got plenty of time to put the ball into the end zone. If it's incomplete, clock stops, you get the field goal unit on. It'll be daring, very daring, if they attempt to run the ball.
Spaziani looking for a stop from his defense. 12 seconds left. Clemson can't stop the clock. They've got second and goal from the 3.
Interesting formation right there.
Boyd in the shotgun. Gonna throw it into the end zone. It's broken up. Flags down. Wow. Jim Noel made the play, but you saw the flag come from the corner of the end zone. It's been a rough first half with the officials for Boston College. Frank Spaziani.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Because the foul occurred in the end zone, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line by rule. Automatic first down.
We'll be looking on the right-hand side. Number 19 right there works out, and then underneath, Noel comes over. A little hard to tell from that angle. Certainly close.
First and goal. And one of the issues may be
prior to the snap. Timeout. Boston College.
Boston College calls a timeout. Only 3 seconds came off the clock on that pass and incompletion. It went from 12 down to 9 seconds. So they're going to reset the clock to 9.
And that literally gives you 2 opportunities to throw the ball into the end zone before settling.
But Clemson is still in that spot where if they run a play and it's not an incompletion and it's down, they don't have time to get the field goal unit on. They probably don't even have time to take another snap, even in as much of a hurry-up offense as they are. That's above and beyond the call of duty. There's our Sprint halftime report coming up from our Atlanta studios with Andre Aldridge. A busy day in the ACC. Andre will have highlights of Wake Forest taking down Florida State. The 35-30 final. The Demon Deacons are undefeated in the ACC, and had they not collapsed late in the 4th quarter in Syracuse, they'd be undefeated on the season. Let's see if Clemson can stick it in. Boyd puts it up. Deflected and incomplete. 3 more seconds come off the clock.
And Coach Sweeney's not even going to take a chance. He's going to send the field goal unit out now. If you can't get there, get your hands up. That's a nice job there.
Max Holloway.
Number 56, Holloway, as you call him. Busy man from the field goal department today.
Chandler Cannizzaro, an 18-yarder. From a short angle, puts it up and puts it in. So Clemson, there's 1 second left in this first half. Clemson gets its 3 points. As they move it down the field, Boston College makes a couple of nice defensive plays in the end zone. Though Frank Spaziani still patrolling the sidelines. They put another second up, and so now 2 seconds is left on homecoming here at Clemson, the number 8 team in the country. A 23-7 lead over Boston College.
And how much bigger still is that penalty on that 40-yard plus touchdown reception that was called back now loom.
It was Bobby Swigert from Chase Redding. It was 43 yards.
43.
That would have made it 17-7. Boston College would score. But certainly 2 touchdowns would feel a lot better than just the 1 score they have. Dawson Zimmerman will kick it off. Spiffy Evans at the top of your screen. Taj Kimball. With a name like Spiffy Evans, you couldn't be an offensive lineman. You've got to be a fleet-footed return guy. And it's Evans who bobbles it at the 12. And Spiffy is hammered at the 23-yard line. And that ends a very impressive first half of football by the number 8 team in the country. The Clemson Tigers came into this one having beaten 3 consecutive top 25 teams. And Dabo Sweeney said no letdown. Let's see what he has to say with Jen Hildreth. Jen?
Thank you, Rich. Coach, your offense got some points, but had to settle for 3 instead of 7 the last 2 drives. What do you need to do to punch it in?
Well, we've had a couple of touchdowns, which is good. These guys are a good defense, and I'm glad to see us make a few kicks, to be honest with you. So it's good to see Catanzaro step up when we needed him. But we just have had a couple of execution things that we got to clean up. Right here, I wish we could have run the ball, but we were in a situation right there. We're trying to get another play, but really disappointed with the touchdown we gave up. That was a really bad drive defensively, but outside of that, we played really well. So, you know, we got a nice lead here. We just got to go in and regroup, make a few adjustments, play a better second half.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Rich, those coaches were getting on the defense, too, when they came off the field last time.
Well, when you're number 8 in the country, you have high expectations, and right now the Clemson Tigers have delivered. After 1 half, it's 23-7. ACC College Football Saturday, brought to you by Hardee's, by CPI Security, by North Carolina Education Lottery, and by Fiat 500.
Determined spirit lives at Clemson. Always has. We're passionate, we're tenacious, and we're solid orange. But most of all, we're a family. Sometimes loud, always proud, ever loyal. with a determined spirit that says, bring it on. Go Tigers.
ACC football is brought to you by Sprint.
ACC College Football Saturday, brought to you by Coors Light, by Ford, by Z-Max, and by Jack in the Box.
It's a pigskin weekend. I'm a metal big band. Big time, big plays, prime time game day. All day, Dixie Way, Saturday in the South.
Number 8, Clemson has lived up to their ranking. An impressive first half, a 23-7 halftime lead over Boston College. Rich Waltz along with Keith Jones. Dabo Swinney told us yesterday that he's been preaching to his ball club. Hey, he told them Clemson has a history of letting down after big wins. 3 consecutive top 25 wins, but no letdown this afternoon.
And they've done what we talked about in the Ford Keys. They haven't paid any attention to everything that's going on around them, homecoming included. All they did on their first possession is drive the ball straight down the field 80 yards for a touchdown.
Jerron Brown from Taj Boyd. Chandler Cannizzaro a 38-yard field goal, and it was a 10-0 start. That would become a 17-0 start thanks to their defense that gave them great field position.
Sack and a turnover there by Malachi Goodman, and Clemson cashed in on it real quickly.
Boyd can throw and he can run. For Taj Boyd, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. 17-0 at that point. Boston College looked like they got on the board. A nice throw and catch.
Oh, but wait a minute.
Bobby Swigert's 43-yard touchdown for naught. It was brought back. Finally, Boston College did get on the board. Rolandon Finch with the run. And that was it for Boston College offensively. Clemson would finish strong, put some more points on the board.
And Clemson continued to play the ball game on Boston College's side of the 50. And in the closing seconds, the 3rd field goal by Clemson. And there's your halftime score.
Here are your halftime stats. Look at the total yardage, 295 yards already. You talked about number of snaps. Clemson already has 44.
Their goal is 80 in a contest. We're halfway through. They're at 44. I'm not terribly good at math, Rich, but I think that's 88 if it holds for the second half. And obviously Clemson in control.
Clemson right now 23-7. Frank Spaziani, the head coach for Boston College, down below with Jen Hildreth.
Your team showed you can move the ball and get in the end zone that last drive offensively. What needs to continue from there in the second half?
Well, once again, we think we can do certain things to them, and we got to play hard and do it. We got to stop them, right? We got to start getting make some of those plays on defense and make it a total team game, offense, defense, and kicking.
What is your key defensively?
Well, we're going to have to make some plays. I mean, we're in the right area code, but we're not close enough, so we're going to have to step it up a little bit.
Coach, thank you.
I like that. In the right area code, but need to make some plays. And it's tough. I mean, this is a Clemson team that took down Auburn when they were number 19, took apart Florida State when they were number 11, and last week went into Blacksburg, and their defense shut down Virginia Tech, who was number 10. A 23-3 win for Dabo Swinney's club last week. And they're a half away, partner, from going 6-0, putting themselves in a position to move up in the rankings if somebody were to falter in front of them. And they will get the football to start this second half. Good, strong kick.
Not only will they go 6-0, but they'll make that matchup looming with Georgia Tech a little later down the road that much bigger.
And that Georgia Tech game is 3 games away, but I don't think the words Georgia Tech will come out of Dabo Swinney's mouth until after Maryland and after North Carolina. There's Taj Boyd in his first half numbers, closing in on 200 yards. And of course, remember, he ran for a score as well. The Clemson offense will touch it. 1st and 10, their own 20. Second half here at Death Valley. Ellington straight ahead. That has been the best spot of the Boston College defense. Kevin Pierre-Louis made the stop. He had a very good first half. Luke Kuechly had 9 tackles in the first half. So those two linebackers, and even Steele DeVito, the third linebacker, they all had very good first halves.
And a nice job up front by Appia and Quinn and Max Reekie when he's been in there. Those defensive linemen keeping those guards and tackles off those linebackers.
Boyd fires high and overshoots Jerron Brown. Remember, Clemson on their first drive of the game, first 2 plays went nowhere. They were 3rd down and 11, and Boyd converted a big 3rd down, and just like that, the Tigers were off and rolling.
And when we chatted with Chad Morris, at the end of spring ball, Taj Boyd's position as the #1 quarterback was in jeopardy. He did a lot of work over the summer to get himself in the position to reclaim that #1 in fall camp.
Third down 10. Boyd steps up, delivers again. Caught Hopkins. 43-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins, the sophomore.
Here's a look at number 40 on defense. Wherever the ball is, he'll be somewhere near it. Great drop, great speed, and encloses for the tackle. However, not before Clemson converts a first down.
Out to the 43. Boyd, play action. Down he goes.
7 on the board from the red zone.
Boyd rolling, quick throw. Caught by Allen at the 2, and he's planted there. Taj Boyd is down, and that's a real concern for Clemson right now. Dwayne Allen after that catch in a pushing match with one of the Boston College Eagles. But
tonight with Tito out.
I think it's time for a new voice here.
Delivered the pass. Here's another look.
We were looking downfield as most people were. That's a legal hit, and that is a bad fall. Max Holloway right there. See his knee caught up underneath him right there.
Holloway has had an active game. Watch the tackle and watch what happens after the tackle.
And that's where my attention went.
Allen wasn't real pleased with the treatment he got. Didn't look like anything too bad.
Just boys being boys.
But 80,000 people are very quiet right now as Taj Boyd is down at the 18-yard line. You can see the numbers that he's had this year, or today. This year, he's thrown for 15 scores, only 2 interceptions. He has run for a touchdown today.
That's Cole Stout, the freshman, the true freshman out of Dublin, Ohio. He's only attempted 1 pass in his college career, Rich. They showed the replay up on the big board here. And normally fans will give you a good boo, boo, boo when they think the hit was not legal. There was all the 80,000 plus right here are going ooh, 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 because there's nothing illegal about that play, but that is a terrible, terrible land, if you will, for Boyd. Man, you just hate to see that. Just hate to see that.
So Cole Stout, whose father, of course, is Cliff Stout, the former NFL quarterback of Pittsburgh, the Cardinals, some time with the Dolphins. Stout comes in, and he inherits 3rd and goal from just inside the 3. Ellington in motion. Stout rolling. Hit as he throws. It's caught, but it's out of bounds. Hopkins got a foot down, but it came down out of bounds. And it looks like Clemson is going to settle for 3 points.
A little misdirection.
That's Holloway again.
Yep, tight end coming all the way across what we call underneath.
That's almost the exact same play that Boyd was injured on, the one that Allen caught and was short of the end zone. It's a 20-yarder. Cannizzaro has been perfect today, and he angles that one in. So it's 3 points for Clemson, but a lot of concern for the health of Taj Boyd. All right, thanks, Andre. Our Wendy's game summary with Clemson on top, 26-7. The question right now is the health of Taj Boyd, who is leaving the field. The sophomore quarterback who has been terrific this year.
The good news there, Rich, is he's sitting up front, not laying down. The bad news is he is going to the locker room.
So another field goal for Clemson. Evans to the 30. Evans has a lane, and he's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So there goes Taj Boyd. A wave to the fans. Who just joined us. Here's the injury. It was Max Holloway. A clean hit.
Yeah, it gets that knee, just called it a bad angle.
We'll get word when we can from Jen Hildreth down below. Now Boston College has the football. Their first possession of the second half. Good field position. Their own 40-yard line. Reddick gives to Finch over the left side. Finch out to the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Rashard Hall made the stop for Clemson.
Very important on this drive, first drive of the third period, for Boston College to reestablish that line of scrimmage as they did towards the latter part of the second quarter. You know, time of possession was about 17 minutes BC, 13 Clemson, so they held the ball. They were able to get some yardage. They just couldn't put back-to-back first downs together.
Well, you go back to that 43-yard touchdown catch by Bobby Swigert that was called back. Finch bounces outside and then bangs his way into Clemson territory. You see where they mark it. Actually going to mark it right at the 50-yard line, and they're going to move the chains. It is a first down.
You almost think Finch disappears into the pile here, goes up in there and then bounces out. Gets enough for the first down, as you mentioned, right at the 50. Rashard Hall on the tackle.
Well, the Eagles are moving the football, but down big on the scoreboard to number 8 Clemson, 26-7. Finch has 63 yards. A nice move there inside the 45. Finch to the 41, another 9 yards.
Again, nothing terribly fancy here. Man on man, hat on hat, right up the middle. That's the one area, if there has been success for Boston College's offense, that's where it has occurred.
At the 41-yard line, Taj Kimball in. Second and short. Kimball cuts back, has the first down. And that big offensive line for Boston College right now doing a nice job of clearing the way for both Landon Finch and Taj Kimball. Kimball the last 2 carries and another first down.
Clearly the Boston College offensive staff have made either a schematic change or an attitude change. Either way, this offensive line is moving Clemson off of the football at the point of attack.
From the 35, Reddick steps up to the end zone, picked off. Jonathan Meeks at the 1.
Andre Branch with pressure that time on Reddick, forced him to step up. There's Branch, number 40, steps up, and that's when he loses sight of the safety. Because clearly playing center field is Jonathan Meeks, and he comes up with his first interception of the season.
Junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. And now the Clemson offense without Taj Boyd Cole Stout.
Well, remember, they ran a bubble screen in a similar situation in the first half, so don't put anything past Chad Morris.
Dublin, Ohio. Stout backed up in his own end zone. And they'll keep it pretty simple with Andre Ellington going straight ahead. Stout gray-shirted, so he got to Clemson in January. He was able to go through spring practice, so at least he has that experience as he all of a sudden takes over the number 8 team in the country. Ellington again, he's hit, ball's loose, and who's got it?
They're going to call it down initially.
Kuechly picked it up, danced into the end zone, whistles blew. Two things happened. This was almost a safety, and let's see when the ball comes out.
Yeah, he's clearly down.
Yep, but a great hit and a great play by Dominic Apia. And the Boston College defense right now playing well, and it looks like they're going to review that, but from our look it looked clearly like the knee was down and then the ground
literally caused the fumble.
Another look, another angle.
And notice the knee. Now here's an interesting thing. If the knee's down right there, that's a safety.
No, now the ball was outside the end zone.
Is the ball coming out? Is the rule with the ball out the same as the ball going in? Going in, it's not where the guy is, it's where the ball is. But is the rule the same coming out? I don't know.
Yes, it's where the ball is, much like any run. It almost looked like the ball was on its way out before the knee got down. He was almost losing the grip on it, and that the ground completely jarred it loose.
And remember, if there is no indisputable video evidence, they have to go with the call on the field, which is that it was down.
That's really close, because you can see the ball start to turn in his arm. The one thing was they did blow the whistle, and Kuechly had picked the ball up after the whistle.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down. Third down.
So no fumble, no safety. 3rd and 10.
But oh so close both ways.
And this is a real baptism here for Cole Stout.
I say quarterback sneak. What do you say?
Ellington straight ahead to the 5, breathing room. Luke Kuechly, who is above double figures again in tackles.
28th consecutive game in double-figure tackles.
And that is the longest streak in college football. Dawson Zimmerman backed up.
Mr. Everything back to receive the punt.
Yeah, but looking into the sun, and he gets a high wobbler. Fair catch called for and made. And Boston College will have great field position at the Clemson 47-yard line. 42 yards on the kick, 26-7 Clemson. See college football Saturday, Death Valley. Number 8, Clemson on top, 26-7. That's the good news for the Clemson Tigers. The bad news is they've lost their sophomore quarterback, Taj Boyd. He's been taken to the locker room. 7:21 left, third quarter. But Boston College has the football at the Clemson 47-yard line. Taj Kimball over the right side. Let's get an update on Boyd's status. Down to Jen Hildreth. Jen, what do you got?
Rich, bad news from the training room. They are saying that it is a leg injury on Taj Boyd, and he will not return in this game. That's all they're giving me, but that's enough. Not good news for the Tigers.
And guys, you could hear and feel the air just go out of this place when Boyd went down and left the field. And now Boston College trying to move the football. They have it just inside the 44-yard line of Clemson. Armand on the move. Reddick. Crossing pattern. Lamond has the catch, but he's dropped by Jonathan Willard. If you've just joined us, here's the injury. It was a clean hit. Max Holloway getting to the quarterback, and Boyd went down in a heap.
And that left knee just bent in a very awkward way.
It's been a tough third quarter throughout the season for Boston College. Reddick threw an interception on their last drive down at the 1-yard line. On 3rd and 5. Gets it away. And double coverage. Flag goes down.
Late flag. Late flag.
Andre Branch coming off the edge. And he may have hit Reddick late. And if so, that'll be a first down for Boston College.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Let's see if indeed it was Branch.
Well, we've seen Clemson get in Reddick's grill all game long. And it's obviously Branch. And that's very, very close.
That's the first penalty all day on Clemson.
You see Dabo right there going, that's okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Don't dwell on the negative. Go to the next play.
Finch in the backfield. Reddick now from the 27. Bobby Swigert, his favorite target in motion. Finch to the 24. It's a gain of 3. Brandon Thompson the stop for Clemson.
Things are getting a little chippy down there, Rich.
Well, the Clemson crowd obviously upset that Boyd has been injured. All of the key calls have gone against Boston College up until that one. Remember, Boston College had a 43-yard touchdown catch called back. Second and 7. Blitz is coming. Reddick is hit. Swigert with the catch at the 10, the 5. He is in. Touchdown. What an effort by Bobby Swigert. Reddick was drilled as he delivered it. It's a 24-yard touchdown. Throw and catch.
And Reddick a little shaky as he makes his way off of the field. Here comes the pressure blitz. Just does get it away. Xavier Brewer on the pressure. And a great effort by Swigert to get that ball across the goal line.
Swigert's first touchdown of the season. And Boston College, the extra point is good. Boy, how big is that touchdown that was wiped out in the first half now? BC right now has the momentum. Number 8 Clemson, though, still has the lead. ACC College Football Saturday, brought to you by BB&T, by Toyota, and by AT&T. Caroline Gardens here on campus, dedicated to the class of 1943, particularly to those who lost their lives during World War II. D-Day. Number 8 Clemson comfortably on top, driving. They lose their quarterback, Taj Boyd. They had to settle for 3, and now Boston College puts it in the end zone, and this one is starting to get a little interesting. Brown deep in his end zone. You've got a true freshman quarterback in Cole Stout that's trying to move this offense now. Now, before he went out, this is one of the plays right before the injury. Taj Boyd with some help from the fabulous freshman Sammy Watkins, and our U.S. Postal Service delivery of the game. That 62-yard catch put the ball inside the BC 10. Boyd was injured on a rollout a couple plays later. And enter Cole Stout, Cliff Stout's son, true freshman. He'll hand it off to Mike Bellamy out to the 35, and certainly if Clemson can run the ball, that'll take some pressure off of the young quarterback.
Bellamy, the true freshman out of Nocatee, Florida boy. First time he touched the ball as a Clemson Tiger, Rich, he went 75 yards for a touchdown against Troy.
That's the first time he's touched the ball in this game. Stout with a quick screen to Watkins.
Look at the acceleration from Watkins.
You know, Taj Boyd told us yesterday that Watkins was his favorite recruit.
In fact, he was the escort of Watkins when he made his official visit.
Absolutely, and Boyd knew what he was doing. He knew how good Watkins was. Bellamy again has the first down. Gain of 5. Steele DeVito made the stop.
Bellamy with 24 rushing attempts coming into the ballgame. Average 7.6 per touch on the ground.
Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. You can see Stout trying to get everybody rolling here. This hurry-up offense is not an easy one to run. Stout play action. His throw was deflected. Good pressure on the quarterback. Steele DeVito on the blitz.
We've seen BC be around the Clemson quarterbacks all day long. DeVito, as you see there, got right in Stout's face.
You can see Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. Boyd told us it took him all summer to really grasp this offense. So how do you do it as a true freshman? Stout, option right side, he'll keep it and dive to the 45-yard line. Short of the first down. 3rd down and 3. Certainly not as multiple. It's certainly not as hurry up as this offense now with Stout running it.
But it is no huddle, and it is up tempo.
Ellington in the backfield on 3rd down and 3. Stout inside screen. Watkins gets a block, has the first down. They are leaning heavily on Sammy Watkins right now. Mason Clay made a nice block on the interior for Clemson.
I would lean heavily on him as well. His acceleration is just phenomenal. Watkins.
Kuechly made another stop. 1st and 10. Boston College 36. Ellington smothered. DeVito coming up from his linebacker spot. I'll tell you what, Boston College has 3 very good linebackers. They've got 1 All-American in Kuechly. But Kevin Pierre-Louis and Steele DeVito, the 2 sophomores, are very good as well.
Pierre-Louis second on the team in tackles last year with 93. DeVito is just a true sophomore. And you're right. And what makes them that good is those interior defensive linemen keeping offensive linemen off of them.
Ellington in motion. And he'll get it. Has a hole. No, rather it's Stout who fires it out to Humphreys, who is short of the first down.
This is the only offense I know of, or at least I'm aware of, that runs this particular play. And it confuses everybody, us upstairs as well.
Hey, I bet on the play action myself. Humphreys was shy of the first down. 3rd down short. Movement, Ellington, first down to the 22. Let's go down to Jen Hilder. Jen?
Well, Rich, you talked about how does Cole Stout learn this offense. I got one of the ways. This is one of the tricks of Chad Morris. Very innovative guy. He gave all his quarterbacks whiteboards like this, had them draw out formations, the reads, the protections, the plays they were supposed to make. I hope I didn't steal Cole Stout's because I'm guessing he might need this.
I see that one as Chad Morris approved as well. That throw is not Chad Morris approved, though. It was almost picked off. Kevin Pierre-Louis. Another nice play by a Boston College linebacker.
And with all the momentum that BC had, this Clemson offense is slowly seeping it back to their side. Right now, if you're BC, you want to hold them and force that field goal attempt.
2nd down 10. Movement. Flags. Who moved first?
False start, offense number 5. Simulating the beginning of the play. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Mike Bellamy, the freshman running back who's been in on this drive, closing in the final couple minutes of a third quarter in a ball game that has taken a couple of interesting twists and turns. Taj Boyd, the Clemson quarterback, has left with what looked like a knee injury. Cole Stout, the true freshman quarterback, Cliff Stout's son, is running the show. And he's in trouble, and he's caught and dropped at the 39-yard line. Jim Noel with a corner blitz, and that pushes Clemson out of field goal range.
And they had Dwayne Allen on an out and up to the offense's left-hand side. He was one-on-one with a linebacker because the corner had blitzed. A daring call by BC coordinator Bill McGovern that works.
It's a third down now, an inside handoff. Ellington straight ahead. Kuechly has a hold of him, and once Kuechly gets a hold of it, there's no escaping him. He does get it to the 30, and it's back within field goal range. On fourth down now, it'll be a 47 or 48-yarder, depending on where they spot it. 14 tackles now for Luke Kuechly.
Defensive coordinator Bill McGovern says Kuechly plays irritated.
Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator for Clemson, says Kuechly is Brian Urlacher 10 years ago when Urlacher was running around crazy for New Mexico. Kick.
Is it enough?
Where's Tim Brando when you need him? The iron kind on that one.
Sometimes the ball goes your way. Didn't quite hit it on all the screws, but just enough.
That's a shooter's touch.
Little John over here to our right. We may want to take him over there and have him shoot some free throws. I'm sorry, to our left. Thank you for pointing that out. Always correcting me. You ever notice this?
You know what, though? I think if you're Boston College, holding Clemson to a field goal here has to feel like at least a moral victory. Because
particularly if you can take this ball and convert some first downs.
It's still a 2-score game right now. Boston College scoring on their last possession. Zimmerman to kick it. Kimball and Evans deep. Taj Kimball from the 2. Kimball. Good open field tackle. There's a flag down. The 23, pushing and shoving as well, erupts. Another flag goes down.
Told you it was getting chippy.
2 flags. And the officials will sort it out.
And if you think Coach Spaz was not happy in the first half, he may be very unhappy right now.
You can see the reaction from Dabo Swinney. He's lucky he doesn't get a flag.
We have holding on the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It will be first down. After the play, personal foul on the defense. Personal foul on the offense. This penalty's been canceled. 10 yards, first down.
So they offset. So he won't be. Basically, both coaches are going to be unhappy.
Well, I don't know if they offset because I think they're going to mark the first penalty off.
The 2 after the dead ball fouls offset.
Right.
The first infraction will be measured off.
Yeah, and so that's going to put the football at the 14-yard line. So I'm not sure why the fans are booing so much because Clemson ended up getting the penalty yardage marked off against Boston College.
It's going to be right here. The Boston College player just launches himself back on the defensive player. Defensive player retaliates.
Finch dropped at the 11. Malachi Goodman, Andre Branch in there as well. Final seconds, the third quarter rolling off the clock. Boston College backed up, and this place has come back to life. 3 quarters in the books. Number 8, Clemson has lost their star quarterback, Taj Boyd. But right now, they're on top of Boston College. 29-14 Clemson on an ACC college football Saturday. Our Sprint Unlimited update as we start the fourth quarter. 2 quick scores in the first quarter for the Clemson Tigers. Taj Boyd hitting Jerron Brown, and then Boyd took it in himself. Boyd has left the game with a leg injury. Boston College has the football at their own 11-yard line. Chase Redig's throw, a terrific one-handed catch by Taj Kimball coming out of the backfield. And Kimball with that catch, it's a gain of only 2, but he gets great style points for this.
Kimball, the redshirt freshman, just his 4th reception of his Boston College career.
They're down 9. BC at their own 16-yard line. Blitz coming. Redig, quick dump, and great coverage. Coming up quickly was Cody Sensabaugh to make the play.
Every defensive person for Clemson was in the upright position that time. Nobody with hands down.
Ryan Quigley. Jerron Brown is deep. Fair catch at the 41. 40-yard punt. Coors Light freeze cam. This the sack. Malachi Goodman forced the turnover. Chase Redig coughing it up. Coors Light freeze cam. That set up the second score for Clemson in the first quarter.
Both of these quarterbacks have been taken to the ground numerous times.
Cole Stout running the show for Clemson. Boyd has been out of the game for some time now. Ellington over the left side. Nick Clancy, a junior linebacker out of Plainfield, Illinois, made the stop for Boston College after a gain of 6. This looked like a blowout. BC had a 43-yard touchdown call back in the first half. But once Boyd went down, you could really feel momentum shift. Clemson has kicked 5 field goals. That one almost deflected. Instead, a nice catch and run. Joe Craig getting some time.
Brian Mahalik very nearly got his hand on that ball, the defensive end for Boston College.
And so far, Cole Stout is moving the team. Mike Bellamy in the backfield. And this is Bellamy to the 43-yard line. Well, Boston College has maybe the premier middle linebacker in the country, Luke Kuechly. Leading the nation in tackles, coming in 83. We've got him unofficially with 14 in this ball game.
And those 14, his 28th consecutive game with double-digit tackles.
Clemson keeps it on the ground. Bellamy takes a big hit at the 40 from Clancy again. It's going to bring up a 3rd down now for the Clemson offense.
And you thought that Bellamy was going to bounce off, but not the case. You see the total tackles there in 2011. Currently, or actually coming into the ball game.
Ellington is back in for Clemson. 3rd down 5. Stout with time. Good throw right at the sticks. Brandon Ford made the catch. I think he is a half-yard shy.
According to the official on the far side, he is. Got to get past the 35-yard line. Got to get inside the 35-yard line. He's going to be about a yard, maybe 2.5 feet short.
Ellington in the eye behind Chad Deal. Let's see if Stout keeps it. Ellington busted loose. He's gone. He's in. Touchdown. 35 yards.
Second time Clemson has gone for it on 4th down. They bring a guard around, fullback up front. Everybody's in the box. So once he gets free, you're not going to catch number 23.
Andre Ellington, his 5th touchdown of the season. And it's got to feel good for the true freshman, Cole Stout, who takes over for Taj Boyd, leads him on a touchdown drive, 36-14 Clemson.
Thumb it in results. You believe the highest powered offense in the ACC is Clemson. We thank you for thumbing that in. Now back to Frank Howard Field, Rich and Keith.
Thank you, Andre. Here in Death Valley, number 8 Clemson on top, 36-14. That's just part of the story. An injury to Clemson star quarterback Taj Boyd is the other part. Spiffy Evans to the 30. Evans cuts back, and he's out to the 37-yard line. Boston College has played better here in the second half than they did in the first half. They had a rough first quarter. And the Eagles have good field position, their own 37-yard line. Rich Waltz along with Keith Jones and Jen Hildreth. The extent of Boyd's injury not known yet.
And unofficial word, don't know if it's accurate or not, might be good news for Clemson. It may be his hip and not his knee. Don't know for sure, but lower leg extremity.
First and 10 for Landon Finch. Tough going up the middle. 3 yards. Corey Crawford with the carry. Our ZMAC performance recap. Luke Kuechly is up to 15 tackles. Taj Boyd, before he left, threw for a score, ran for a touchdown, and threw for 283 yards.
Now, those are the 2 guys we talked about from the outset, and they certainly have not disappointed.
Chase Reddick now, a 2nd and 7. Clemson brings 4, and they get to him. Courtney Brown off the edge.
These are situations where defensive linemen, particularly defensive ends, really relish. Your opponent's down, you know they've got to throw, you just pin the ears back and go after them. First sack on the year for Brown.
Back to 3rd down and 10. Larmond in motion. Reddick over the middle, and Swigert again. A diving catch. Bobby Swigert has had quite a day for Boston College. 7th catch. Swigert over 90 yards now. And remember, he had the 43-yarder called back.
He's going to be working this way. He just finds a little seam in there, and Reddick hits him. Zone coverage, he got behind the linebackers and was split the 2 safeties.
7 catches, 93 yards now for the sophomore. For Landon Finch, the 42-yard line. Approaching 9 minutes left in this ball game. Give Boston College credit. This game was on the verge of a blowout, and the Eagles and Frank Spaziani did not give up. They've had some good moments offensively, some good moments defensively.
Well, they were 1-4 coming into the ball game. 3 of those 4 losses, total of 16 points.
Second down. Blitz is coming. Reddick stands in there and completes the pass shy of the first down. Swigert again, and he dropped it. The officials say it's incomplete. Xavier Brewer on the coverage. Landon Finch is our Polaris hardest working player. 19 carries, 81 yards.
Carries and yards there, but he did a great job of picking up a blitzing linebacker and protecting Reddick on that particular play prior.
Clemson has really come after the sophomore quarterback. Flag down, and Reddick holds on to the football. He may have run out of time on the play clock.
I think BC's
prior to the snap, delay a game. Offense number 11, 5-yard penalty, third down.
The way the BC staff was out on the field, I thought they were objecting because they tried to call a timeout. I guess they did not. Therefore, the delay call.
6 penalties for 45 yards for Boston College. Dabo Swinney has lost his quarterback, Taj Boyd. Third down and 10. Here comes another blitz. Reddick is hit, caught, Larmond, and he's got the first down to the 34-yard line. Colin Larmond Jr.
I hope they have a lot of ice back in Massachusetts, because Reddick's going to need a whole bunch.
He is a tough quarterback. He's out of California, Sierra Madre, California.
It's Andre Branch right there. Nice job by Lamont. Catch and turn up field.
So BC moving the football, moving the sticks, but running short of time. From the Clemson 34, another blitz. Reddick flushed, hit, and down. Finally caught by Branch.
Well, Branch went by him the first time, did a 360 and came back from the other direction. I guess that'd be 180. Excuse me. Watch right there. Going to go that way and turn back this way.
Reddick had 2 receivers 30 yards down the field right next to each other. Branch, 1 sack, 6 tackles. Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Draw play, and this time it's Taj Kimball. Speaking of Andre Branch, his big game was last week at Virginia Tech.
Finished the contest with 6 tackles for a loss. 4 of them were sacks. 11 total stops. How do you do, Mr. Branch?
On 3rd down and 9. Reddick scrambling, sandwiched, and really hammered at the 31-yard line. Boy, the kid is taking a beating. This is probably 4-down territory for Boston College.
And again, the second time we've seen all 11 Clemson defenders up. That's Brandon Thompson right there, number 98, that finishes him off.
And on 4th down,
in there as well.
On 4th down and 7, Boston College is going to go for it. They've got to get to the 24-yard line. Kimball in the backfield with Reddick. Clemson comes with 4. Reddick steps up and fires it incomplete. Swigert in the pattern. Clemson takes over. (36-14), number 8 Clemson on top. A look from outside Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, where the number 8 Tigers are on top. But one big question is the health of Taj Boyd. Cole Stout has taken over at quarterback. Boyd knocked out of the game, left the field, has been in the locker room and has not returned. Andre Ellington with a first down. He's up to the 44-yard line. It looked like a leg injury. We were told in the press box a hip injury. Obviously, a lot to be determined after a day or two. The Clemson fans have seen the Tigers race to a 5-0 start, a number 8 ranking, and an impressive day here against Boston College, a chance to go to 6-0. Ellington starts, stops, and then goes nowhere. Max Holloway the first to hit him. Kuechly finished him off. Andre Ellington's day today.
Over 400 yards coming into the ball game, and he has been very, very productive for this Clemson defense. Tries to throw a pass there. Mr. Versatility. 118 yards on the ground now. 21 carries. Happy homecoming.
That's right. It is homecoming here in Clemson, South Carolina. Last year it wasn't such a happy homecoming. Miami came in and beat Clemson. Stout swings it out. McDowell, and he's run out of bounds. Crowd wants flags. Kuechly in the middle of it. I think Chad Morris has done a nice job of getting Cole Stout's feet underneath him.
He hasn't asked him to do too much too early. Has let him get into the rhythm of the game. There's a guy, he's just in his 2nd year of college coaching.
He's a great story. A tremendously successful high school coach in the state of Texas, and that's one of the trends that you're starting to see in college football. Colleges are starting to hire high school coaches, guys that have great success. State of Florida, state of Texas especially, that one broken up. Sam Cooper, the intended receiver.
And how Dabo Swinney went to hire him is also a little bit unusual, because Chad and Dabo did not know each other.
No, Dabo Swinney, doing his research, knew that Morris was in his first year at Tulsa and saw that Tulsa made an extreme improvement offensively, both in the air and on the ground. Did his homework and offered him the offensive coordinator job here.
But only after Chad brought his entire family to Clemson so Dabo would have a chance to meet everybody.
Well, Dabo's a great recruiter, and so he's used to recruiting the whole family, and he did it that. Swigert, that ball ends up in the end zone. That's a booming kick of 58 yards. Clemson in control, 36-14. ACC College Football Saturday, brought to you by Blimpie, by Coors Light, by Buick, and by Honda Generators. Lake Hartwell, all is calm, all is good in Clemson, 36-14. And Chase Reddick, who's taken a beating today, has had some nice moments. And Dave Shinsky takes over. Shinsky, the junior, who has a lot of experience, 27 years old. Taj Kimball with the carry. Shinsky, of course, if you know Boston College, you know a baseball player, a pitcher, drafted by the Twins, signed in 2003.
Big arm. Big arm. He's trying that Chris Winkie route. Play a few years in the minors and come back as an old man.
Hopefully he invested that signing bonus wisely. Kimball. And Kimball across the 30. So I guess now we have to talk about what's next for both of these schools. For the Boston College Eagles, this is a tough stretch because they've got 3 consecutive road games. Here at Death Valley, they go to Blacksburg, and then they go to Maryland.
They do get a week off to heal some bumps and bruises and maybe get Montel Harris back. But you're right, 2 consecutive road games after the bye week.
That would be a big addition. Although both Kimball and Finch have carried the ball quite well, they are still no Montel Harris. The last year against Clemson had 143 yards in the win up at Chestnut Hill. They're the games at Virginia Tech and Maryland. They still have Florida State at home, North Carolina State at home, travel to face the Irish, and then go down to take on Miami.
The good news is they're in Miami. It'll be a little warmer.
Second down and 8. Kimball bouncing it outside. The Clemson Tigers, meanwhile, are going to go at 6-0 and go on the road to take on Maryland. They've got North Carolina, and you see the game underlined, October 29th. Georgia Tech a winner today, so 2 undefeated teams. If they stay on track, probably 2 top 10 teams at that point. If they win up until the 29th, Georgia Tech and
maybe a little time to get Taj Boyd healthy, but still be able to play against opponents that you'll be favored.
Shinsky's throw caught at the 38-yard line. Dante Elliott.
Elliott's first reception of the year, and this one hurt.
Jonathan Meeks made the hit. Shinsky went down. I think if you're a Clemson fan, obviously the Taj Boyd injury and whatever diagnosis comes out of it is key. But at least you've seen Cole Stout move the offense this afternoon against Boston College.
So if he goes in and has to be your starter, it will not be his first significant playing time. This is 4th down.
And penalty flags come down with 31 seconds left.
And whether it be a hip or a knee, if you're
False
Clemson
start.
faithful.
Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
What you want is something that can be rehabilitated, not something that needs to be operated on.
On to Generators' power play of the game. Remember that 4th down. Andre Ellington iced it with this run. That put Clemson on top 36-14. Ellington a 35-yard touchdown run. On to Generators' power play of the game. Shinsky finishing up for Boston College.
By the way, you see that knee brace on that left knee. Shinsky, the starter last year, 2010, played several games, then got hit. That hurt. That's what brought Red again.
21 seconds. The clock will start on the ready for play.
Dabo Swinney and the Tigers. A happy homecoming and no letdown after the big road win against Virginia Tech. Shinsky's throw is incomplete, and that 4th down comes up empty, and we'll take a timeout with 6 seconds left. 2 very proud men. Frank Spaziani, the head coach at Boston College, a great defensive mind, and of course Luke Kuechly, who may be the best middle linebacker in the country. 16 more tackles for Kuechly. He leads the country in tackles. He now has 99 already this year. That's amazing. And this one is in the books. A win for Clemson, albeit a painful one, with the injury to Taj Boyd. Dabo Swinney, Frank Spaziani meet at midfield, as is tradition. The crowd here rushing the field. And for Boston College, A tough loss. They were without Montel Harris. The Eagles fall to 1-5, 0-3 now in the ACC. The Tigers are now 6-0, and they look like the #8 team in the country. Dabo Swinney is down below with Jen Hildreth.
Coach, there was a moment here where it looked like things could have gone downhill. Taj Boyd goes out, Boston College scores. How did your team respond?
Well, they responded like you'd like to see them respond. You know, we got some stops, we settled down. You know, we made a couple of short yardage conversions. The 4th and 1 with Andre Ellington was huge. The special teams were solid all day. But, you know, hey, listen, that's a tough, proud, hard-nosed football team from Boston College, and we knew that they had no quit in them. So, hey, we knew they fought back, but we responded and found a way to win.
Got to be pleased the way Cody Stout came in and did here in his appearance.
Yeah, Cole did a great job, and you know, he hadn't played really since the first game, so it was good to see him get in there. And, hopefully Taj is going to be okay, but we'll find out a little bit more here tomorrow. But I like how they played. Anything you can tell us about Taj that you've heard? Well, it looked like he got his hip hit. You know, the initial X-ray looked good, but we're going to do an MRI and make sure. But, you know, hopefully he'll be fine. But, again, next guy in, and Cole stepped up, so hopefully we can continue to just play well and find ways to win. You said you wanted a complete effort from your team. You wanted to keep attacking. Did you feel like you stayed on the attack today? Yeah, we did. Yeah, like I said, we hit some big plays, and we took some shots, missed a few things that were there. Pause for the song. I thought we did a good job. Again, they're a hard team to run the ball on. You know, it looks like they're growing up a little bit on the defensive side. And, you know, our defense, we've been a little bit, but then we got it going and got some key stops, and we put them away. All right, we're going to get your defense in here in a minute. Thanks very much, Coach. Congrats. Thank you. Rich?
Jen, certainly good news that the X-rays are okay, and everyone around Clemson will be waiting for the results of the MRI tomorrow. As the Clemson band and a sellout crowd enjoying homecoming and a win. Big day for the defense, another big day for Andre Branch. Jen?
All right, I apologize, guys. Little audio issues. It's kind of crazy down here. Okay, Andre Branch next to me. Andre, you guys got a talking to in the first half. What did your coaches tell you, and how did you come out and make it better?
He pretty much said we weren't playing up to our standards, and we just came out there and we had to prove them wrong, and that's what we did.
All right, what do you think you learned about your team in this game?
We can definitely go off adversity. You know, we did a great job in the second half, and we answered all problems that we had in the first half.
Now, how's your thumb? I saw you shaking your hand around a little bit. Are you playing a little pain out there?
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm good.
I knew nothing would keep him off the field. All right, let's look at what's coming up next. What's the next step for this team?
Win the next game.
Keep these people happy. All right, thanks. Back to you guys.
Jen, stay close to Andre there. He'll protect you.
I think that qualifies as a mass of people. I think if there's any good news that comes out of it, as you mentioned, the X-ray, we heard from Dabo negative. I was fearful when I saw the injury to Taj Boyd that it would be the knee. It just looked bad. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I would think the hip might be an area that is not as susceptible to having something torn, broken, or whatever. Certainly, if you can stay away from surgery and do rehab, then that means he has the potential to come back as opposed to being out for the year. And if he can come back, this is a very formidable Clemson team. Offense, defense, and kicking game. They are a legitimate top 10 program.
They go on the road to Maryland, and they've got North Carolina before they head to Georgia Tech. Cole Stout, the true freshman, played very well in Taj Boyd's absence. 36-14, number 8, Clemson is now 6-0.